In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Assalamu alaikum. That means peace be unto you. Welcome to Liberated Sisters. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad, and we have a great show for you today. We are going to be featuring Love Not Blood campaign. We have Pumps on the Ground. Went on location with them to Tulsa, Oklahoma for Black Wall Street, the centennial of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. Sister Beatrice X and Uncle Bobby X Johnson Cephas, Uncle Bobby X Johnson of Love Not Blood campaign will be our guest throughout the show. But first, the Justice Report. Y'all know I want to read this cover story. I really want to read it, but we're expecting Uncle Bobby to call in a few minutes via Skype. So let's get right to the Justice Report. The cover story in the Final Call newspaper by student minister Ava Muhammad. This is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam's national spokesperson. Minister Ava's article, A Call to Action. Children's Health Defense. This is the organization founded and led by attorney Robert F. Kennedy Jr. The Children's Health Defense has filed a petition for the Food and Drug Administration, that's the FDA, to remove experimental COVID-19 vaccines from the market immediately due to reports of more deaths and injuries. A call to action. If you have already taken the so-called COVID-19 vaccine, if you're thinking about it or if you're not planning to, regardless of who you are and where you are and what you're doing, this is an article that you want to read. You want to find out what is happening on the legal front regarding this virus and this vaccine. The special coverage continues on page 8, 9, and 10. I'm going to go a little bit more into some more articles about COVID, but first, a few more of the headlines. In America, the policing continues to rage out of control. That's a story by Michael Z. Muhammad and Janiyah S. Adams. Also, man, this racist world is something else. Ending the stigma of mental health in the black community. Sister Anissa Muhammad, our contributing writer, writes about mental health in sports, and we see what happened recently with Naomi Osaka, who declared to the world that she would not be doing any press during the French Open. But it's just really tremendous the amount of support that she is receiving. Our senior editor, brother Askia Muhammad, writes about the turmoil, the roadblocks that continue to engulf U.S. politics. And check this out. Our brother, our dear brother, Minister Farrakhan's dear friend, Father Michael Pfleger. He has been experienced with the congregation and the community tears of happiness, flowing joy in the atmosphere. That's on this past Sunday during Mass at St. Sabina Church in Chicago. Father Michael Pfleger is an activist priest, right? And he returned or was reinstated to his post as the senior pastor there after a 4 month. Okay, 4-month battle. This says following accusations of child sexual abuse from over 40 years ago. Father Michael Flager, congratulations. We are glad for you and the congregation at St. Sabina. And so there's more in the national headline section of the final call, but I want to go to the main piece on COVID 19 continuing. Don't let them vaccinate you. We won't be we won't consent to being guinea pigs, and we won't ignore your deadly history. This is all out of the guidance, divine guidance and instructions of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, July 4th, 2020, the criterion: we won't join your efforts to destroy us. And so Minister Ava's article, A Call to Action, leads the final call's COVID reports for this week. It's a demand that the U.S. government halt the use of the COVID-19 vaccines. There is a lawsuit. There's an image there of the cover page of the lawsuit and what's being requested also, or demanded. Also, the final call is continuing to put there for you the vaccine deaths and serious injuries to date. Through May 28th, there have been 5,165 deaths, 17,619 hospitalizations, and there are more statistics there for you to peruse. Shout out to our big brother Sultan Muhammad of the minister's executive team, but also the Nation of Islam's research group, and he writes COVID-19 for-profit pandemic. So he lays out that the major big pharma companies, just how much money they stand to make. And so I'm just going to highlight a little bit of that. He says that Moderna is making billions from the vaccines. Let's see. So Pfizer BioNTech, their expected sales in 2021 are 15 billion to 30 billion. Moderna is expected to reach 18 to 20 billion. Johnson & Johnson's adenovirus vaccine up to 10 billion. AstraZeneca expected sales 2 to 3 billion. AstraZeneca kind of low, but that's still amazingly a lot, right? And so Brother Sultan goes on to talk about in his article China's success compared to the U.S. in fighting COVID-19 and other elements of it. And then, of course, you may have heard, if you have not, read about it in the final call. Medical professionals in Houston filed a lawsuit against Methodist Hospital, which demanded that they take the COVID-19 shot. And I was able to, Allah blessed me with the interview. I was able to literally find and speak to the lead plaintiff, Jennifer Bridges. And yesterday was their last day, according to Ms. Bridges, and she also put status in social media about it. But she spoke to me at length about what they have been experiencing, some of the, according to her, allegations: bullying, threats, coercion, pitting employees against each other. Those who have taken the shot are good, those who are not are bad. Just really threats that are going out to the whole network, she said. So yesterday, according to Ms. Bridges, was their last day. This is 117 workers who filed a lawsuit. And she said it doesn't include just medical staff. It includes, according to her, some of the Houston police officers who secure the hospital, vendors, different people who have non-medical posts, but they got to go into the hospital to work. And so they were suspended. Yesterday was their last day. So as of now, according to Ms. Bridges, they're on a 2-week suspension. And their attorneys are supposed to be speaking with the judge this week to find out if they're going to be able to keep their jobs. And so this is happening in Houston. This is the first medical center, which is massive, over 200,000 employees. I think about 8 or more centers under it. She works at Baytown, but this is the first. And so this case is going to set a precedent going forward. So we have 2 lawsuits that we're highlighting in the paper this week. And, of course, the coverage goes on. It's amazing what's happening. And so, the criterion, July 4th, this is by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And so this is there for you. Spread the word. And this is the Justice Report. Now, we're supposed to be hearing from Uncle Bobby. He's there, Uncle Bobby. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
Ah, how are you, Uncle? Look at you, Uncle Bobby. Hey.
salam.
let's let's. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were there, Uncle Bobby. I went a little bit long, but let's take the promised 10 minutes and talk to you about being at the centennial of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre. Why did you go?
Well, I had heard about the history, and when I heard about the 100 years anniversary, I thought it was extremely important to go and just to feel the vibes, to understand the historical aspect of what happened, and to just be in that spirit. And so there it was a real reminder just how powerful we can be when we actually unify ourselves and believe in ourselves and do what we should to raise ourselves up by the bootstraps.
Hmm. Thank you. And Uncle Bobby, what was something that stood out to you most, or that impacted you most as you were there in the Greenwood district?
Well, I you know, I guess I have to just kind of refer to the sister and brother that came to the town hall that we were at,
Mm,
and to be in their space and to witness them knowing that they experienced that heinous act of that white mob coming to burn down everything that they worked so hard for was extremely impactful. It's very emotional because, I mean, this sister and brother and those black folks lost much and never has ever been compensated or received any reparations or even a blessing that could have restored what they suffered through for not even doing anything wrong but just being black.
wow, thank you. Speaking about, they refer to Sister Viola Fletcher and her brother, who's referred to as Uncle Red. But yeah, that, and there were different events that took place down there, but that was more of a people's kind of event. Would you say, Uncle Bobby?
I would say, because I think just being there and being in that space and, coming to the knowledge of understanding historically what happened, and witnessing it, uh, to me was really, really emotional and impactful.
What did you take from Tulsa? Not like the T-shirts and different things like that, but you do a work, Uncle Bobby. You and your wife, Sister Beatrice, and Love Not Blood campaign. You have an event coming up in October, as a matter of fact, with Families United for Justice, impacted families of loved ones killed in police and vigilante violence. Right? How did this experience at Black Wall Street and in Tulsa help you for the work that you have forward moving?
I mean, just seeing the shirt that said justice for Greenwood, justice for Tulsa, um, showed just how important justice is for not just individual families, but for us as people, Black people in this country. And in many ways, it helped understand that history and the way we communicate our stories is critical to us understanding what happened in the past. And so I'm taking that with me to hopefully enliven and hopefully put a smile on families that's been impacted by this heinous act with the hope and the belief that things will get better and we will win.
Thank you. I think you were still in the town hall, and that was featuring the survivors. It was Miss Viola Fletcher, her brother Hughes Van Ellis, and Miss Leslie Benningfield Randall is another survivor. In that in that town hall, we learned about a lawsuit, and you can find more information about it at justiceforgreenwood.com. But you were there when Uncle Red spoke to President Joe Biden, and he said that, make it happen in so many words, in terms of reparations, right? Do you think that'll happen?
I, I'm a optimistic person, and I believe as long as we continue to speak about this and do what we need to as a unified uh, family, in laying the case down, that the opportunity exists for that to happen.
Thank you. Uncle Bobby, would you like to add anything?
Um, if you don't know about Tulsa, you have to look at our history and understand our history and know that when we unify ourselves and believe in ourselves, we can build an empire. And that's all we need today, is to become more unified in our belief, more unified in our actions, and more unified in pulling our resources together to build the capital that we need. And once we do that, there's no one in this world that can stop us.
Thank you. And before you go, let us know more about the event coming up in October and what's taking place again.
Yes. So on September 30th through October 3rd
Thank
in the
you.
beautiful city of San Diego, we will be holding our fifth conference titled Families United for Justice Network Conference. This conference entails families from all across the United States, and this year even from Europe, coming to San Diego to greet one another, to bond, to empower each other, to just love on each other, to network, and to understand that you never have to suffer this heinous act of this police violence alone, and that you're not walking alone, because our coming together really emphasize just how heinous this act is, but also it's an empowerment of us understanding and learning from one another how to move forward to get justice for our loved ones.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Uncle Bobby, for taking time out, of course, for Liberated Sisters. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you, Sister Charlene.
You're welcome. We're going to hear from his beautiful wife and partner, not in crime, but in divine, Sister Beatrice X soon. But right now, I just want to give you a clip of an interview I was able to conduct. A beautiful sister, a descendant there. The spirit of the people is just so beautiful, so humble, but also a warrior spirit. Here is Santa Lucas.
Don't be shy. This too. I can start with you. She gonna come. You're so pretty.
Thank you.
My name is Sister Charlene Muhammad. This is Sister Beatrice X. I'm with Pumps on the Ground in the Works Media. She's with Love Not Blood campaign. We're gonna tell you some more about that. What's your name? Beautiful with them dimples.
My name is Santa Lucas.
Spell them both.
Oh, wow.
Santa Suntha, Lucas Lucas.
And you are a resident, a native here?
Yes, I live not too far from here. My grandparents were just up here off of Marshall and Greenwood. I lost my grandmother's brothers in the riot, and yes.
Oh, wow. And how many? How many brothers?
They were my great grandmother, so I think she lost 2 brothers. A lot of history we lost, so.
My condolences, my sincere condolences. I thank God for your ancestors, my ancestors. Do you know a little bit more about them that you can maybe tell that your grandmother shared?
I don't know a lot about them. My grandmother, she, like I said, she lived on Marshall. I remember on Marshall when me and my sister were young. She used to push us in this big buggy down to the store. I remember the stores in the neighborhood as I was coming up, and then all of a sudden everything just kind of disappeared. I remember one of the churches over off of Latimer had the high, the staircases that go all the way up. I remember those big staircases. I remember the church goings with my grandparents and great-grandparents, because my grandparents, my dad's mom died when he was 7. So my great-grandparents basically helped him raise me and my sister. So I remember just briefly, but they died before I became a teenager, so I don't know a lot of stuff about it. I'm down here because this is important to me and my parents and my dad and his parents' legacy. This means a lot to us.
Thank you. I understand. And what did it mean to you, or how did it impact you as a little girl coming down in the buggy and seeing the black budding businesses?
Well, the biggest thing is that I remember how much it meant to my grandmother, my great-grandmother. That's what's important to me, is that it meant a lot to her. So I often relive it when I come into this area. I often relive it, or it's amazing what you can remember as a young child, because I remember the manicured lawns I remember all the barber shops and the little grocery stores and stuff like that. So just a lot of little stuff. When I drive by certain neighborhoods, I remember, you remember bits and pieces of things that happened or places you walked by with your grandparents and just stuff like that.
Wow.
So,
Thank you so much for sharing
oh, I,
this.
I love it. I love it. I hope we learn from it and I hope we prosper. I hope we grow behind it. I hope that we learn or remember that people have paved the path for us. And this is our time to really take advantage of it. If our young black people don't know anything now, they need to understand we have had so many people pay the big cost for us to be here. And if anything, get an education. Take advantage of all the things that's available for us.
Thank you.
Okay.
And is there a way I can keep contact you if I need to follow up a question or something?
Sure.
Cut it. Oh no, I was supposed to put that on. I'm sorry, Felicia. I sent her the wrong clip. No, we're not putting Santa Lucas's information on the air. But thank you. It's so beautiful. She said she hopes we learn from it, and I just got to give a shout out to my little brother here at Mosque number 27, little assistant minister, student minister Landon X Collins, who is from Tulsa, and he has been, just bombing truth at everyone about spending money with our own today. Do we stop going to the restaurant that's black owned because they shorted us one sauce or something like that, or we didn't get the hot sauce? You know, Today, how are we honoring Wall Street? Are we spending our money with each other? Doesn't mean, okay, that you can't spend outside of your own community. You just may not have everything in your community at this time. But for the most part, do you drive the extra mile or do you pay the extra 5 or 10 cents or dollars or whatever it is? Can you spread the word about a black business? How are we honoring Wall Street today? And he really talked about the lack of circulating the black dollar in our community and just whipping us good. And I agree with you, Brother Landon, and thank you for pointing that out. Brother Landon and his beautiful wife, Sister Shauna X Joy, run Nation Town TV. You can go there and hear more about his beliefs and some of the information and knowledge that he puts out about not just Tulsa and Wall Street, but the nation and many, many things. They comment on a lot of things, including black love and marriage. So we're gonna bring in now Sister Beatrice X. She's the co-founder of Love Not Blood campaign, Uncle Bobby's wife, as I told you. And after Sister Beatrice gives us a little of her insight into why she went and what she experienced, we're gonna come back with some more clips. I think we're gonna play a clip of Dr. Stephen Wiley, this pastor and the congregation and activists were selling T-shirts to commemorate and talk about what happened to the churches down there. Very big. And then after that, we're going to also hear from another native descendant who took us on a tour. I happened to just walk up on the tour. Sister Beatrice was already handling her business with it. But Brother Hill Harper and the team were down there. And this brother, Cleo Harris Jr., very prominent there, was taking folk on a tour. And it's very interesting. He talks about bodies and excavation and what have you. So here is Sister Beatrice. Assalamu alaikum.
Wow. I'm so how
Hey,
are you?
gorgeous. You look so great.
Oh, praise Allah. I just praise Allah. Nice to see you, pretty in pink.
Likewise. Likewise. I'm so glad this
Oh,
is
funny
Liberated,
face. You
sister.
always cracking up laughing. Girl. You got to calm down them thoughts because we've got a lot of adventures and we could laugh on many.
I
So
know. I'm so sorry, everyone. It's the sisterhood, and it's just seeing her face. I'm sorry. My daughter does that too when she comes on. Sometimes Queen Amina. I'm sorry, everyone. I apologize. I just
it's
love this
don't
sister so much.
apologize.
And,
That's a good.
and
That
when I,
means you can
yeah,
feel it all in your soul. We have
yeah,
to have relationships like that with people. It has to be genuine like that. And
yeah,
that's how I like to roll. I don't
yeah,
like no fake relationships. Okay,
yeah.
that's to the real deal.
That's
Either
right.
real or it's not. Right?
That's right. That's right. Thank you. I mean, but I didn't. I mean, it just caught me off guard. But 'cause every every trip, everything, every time we put pumps on the ground, it's just so many things come up. Like, I wish I could have just done a 4 hour special, right, to really show what we got in footage. But
That
anyway,
still wouldn't be long enough.
yeah, ma'am, this still
That,
wouldn't be
that's
long enough. I know, I know.
yeah.
But to see your smiling, filing space, smiling face brings me joy, Sister Beatrice, because
That,
you're
the same
fighting. When I think about being in the trenches, this is you. You're an epitome of that.
yes, ma'am.
So let's talk. And look, I wasn't going to Tulsa, y'all. Just like Ferguson, just like Sundance for Fruitvale, I wasn't going. I'm like, I got something to do here. My son's about to graduate. I got this, that, the other. She said, you're gonna miss it. I'm like, why aren't you going? Nobody's around here checking for you.
All right, because somebody grown now.
I don't need nothing. The food's in the fridge. Get out of here. Get the
Right.
mask. Let's go. But talk about why you up and went to the
Well, I
Centennial.
didn't up and go. I was invited.
Okay, but you had to go. You was either
Yeah.
gonna go or
I
stay.
up and go. After I was invited, I up and went.
Right? Okay.
I up and went, and I was invited, and I am still working, and I'm happy to be proud of the movement for them people to get their stuff back, because
Yeah.
that's our people. For us to get our stuff back, Tulsa belongs to us, and we want it back. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you can't move the buildings and the baseball fields, then you need to lease it from us. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It belongs to the descendants, point blank, period. I'm so serious about that. And I was invited because most may not know, but I will be happy to share that my family built a black community in Fairfield, Texas in the 1800s.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they had a peanut factory. They had everything there was black. My great grandfather, Jim Keaton, bought 350 acres of land
Mm.
with the, and he shared it as the brother did in Tulsa, and he sold it to other people like the Titus, who really became our family because one of my cousins married one of the Titus, and then so all our families are entwined now. We are Tituses and Keatons, but we built that whole city there in the 1800s. But the thing is, we kept it, and the reason why we kept it is because they didn't keep it without a war or a battle. And I know that when we was in Tulsa, they were saying that really them black people was whooping those white people's tail.
They were
And they was killing them and they was winning, but they ran out of ammunition.
ammunition.
Right. And so when they ran out of ammunition, they were still fighting back. But then when they brought them planes in, it was a wrap.
Yeah, and drop the bombs for real.
So I think my family's survival was a little more subtle and strategic because it was like if you kill one of us, we kill one of yours. Uh, until they knew to leave my grandfather alone, because my cousin Lester, who is 99 years old, inshallah, he will be 100 in December.
Come
He
on.
lived in the house with my great grandparents, right? And he lived there, and my great great grandparents, he lived in the house with them. He experienced that, and he said that when back then, when white people respected a black person, if you can call it that,
Mm.
they called them Uncle Joe, and they called my great great grandfather Jim Keaton, Uncle Joe, because they didn't mess with him. My cousin Lester said that if they wanted to talk to any of his boys, my grandfather knew that he would that he would go to the gate and ask them what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he would tell them, I'll bring my son to you. They never came on the property. They
Mm.
never did any of that. So it was an all-out war before it was settled. But
Mm.
that history for me with my family, and then when I was invited to go, it was like a no-brainer,
Right.
because uh, the fact that they survived in the 1800s to do that, the fact that they survived in 1921 to do that, that to me is just empowerment for myself, for my children, for my grandchildren, for your children, for all of all of those stories of survival and making it is empowerment. That's how I see it. I really felt like I had to go. Uh, and some people were him humming. I was like, well, we out. And so I'm so glad that I did, because sitting myself in that environment, it was the most painful, but most powerful feeling. It was pain, it was joy.
Yeah.
It embodied all that, because the pain of what happened. And I shout out to Hill for allowing me to do the tour with you for 3.5 hours. Man, did we get an insight
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah. And
I'm
and we left
Charlie,
early, actually.
Charlie calling me. I'm like,
Yeah. I said, wait. we
what you doing? Get over
we
here,
actually left early. I'm
Uh,
like, she doing something. I'm
yeah,
out.
I mean, just to have someone, descendant,
Yeah.
walk us through that for 3.5 hours to tell the history, the stories that people don't know.
Yeah.
And the one I found most not surprising, but the narrative is being put out like it was on CNN, that he pushed against her in the library. No, they were lovers. He was with that woman, and she wanted to be with him, and he did not want to be with him. And that's what happened. The newspaper, the media, the dragon, the propaganda dragon, like they said, it would have been left alone, but the media
The
is the one
Tribune.
that started. The media is the one that started the riot
Yeah. The
by
Tribune down
not
there.
letting the truth be the truth. The truth is that white girl and that white boy was having an affair, and somebody saw them kissing.
Black man.
Right. And she was kissing a black man who was a man about town, sharp in his day in 1921, being a clean machine, irresistible, cream of the planet Earth. She couldn't resist. Okay. And so that's the real story. And he told us that she was pregnant by this man. There's a whole write up about this story. And so the narrative that he bumped into her and all that, that's not the truth.
It just didn't make sense. But it was immature lie all over again.
Right. But
Kind
they
of.
was trying to protect their image in 1921. That's what it really boils down to. And that's why he was never prosecuted, because she would not testify against him. You know why? Because she was in love with him.
Mm.
So she never testified against him. So he was never charged. After all that, he was never charged because they were lovers. And so I think it is important for that part, because mainstream media is putting out that he went into in there and accidentally fell on her.
Elevator. Yeah. Yeah.
The other part of the story that he shared is that the reason why she was screaming, because he was telling her that he wasn't trying to be with her. Now, that's what it said. That's the story that was told to me. I'm not making nothing up.
Yes, ma'am.
Because she was in love, and he was a man about town. He was sharp. They said he was a sharp brother. Okay,
Let's do
so,
this.
So I just wanted to make that clear, because I think it's a travesty that we allow our enemy to narrate our story when it's a tragedy, and they water it down to something simple like he fell into the elevator and she screamed.
Yeah.
No, tell
Yeah.
the truth. It's all on you. You were embarrassed and you were mad that this black man was with this white woman, and you burned down, and you was mad because you were jealous of the refined black people. Them black people was refined.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
The
It was
tour.
beautiful to see that, and they could not stand it. And it's just like with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He is refining us, right? He is lifting us, and they can't do anything about it, and it's driving them crazy, because they rather us be on the corner at
Yeah.
5 o'clock in the morning. Okay,
Yeah.
they rather us being savage. That's what they would rather for us to be, and to see us civilized and refined and at our very best is too heartbreaking for our open enemy. And
Yeah.
that's why this war continues to go, with white people continuously attacking and killing white supremacy against black people, and it is for that very reason, that refinement, that having your own. They had their own. They didn't, because the white people was treating them so bad in Tulsa. They was forced to do that, and when they did it, they could not be left alone. And I know my husband, Uncle Bobby, said that it reminded him of how black people can pull themselves up from the bootstrap. Yeah, white people say that all the time, but no, I think we should say it like this: we can pull ourselves up from the bootstrap if the white man leave us alone. If white supremacy leave us alone, then we can pull ourselves up from the bootstrap. We can never forget that no matter what we do, when we are successful, white supremacy steps in to try to destroy us.
Thank you. And Dr. King said, well, it's cruel because if you say that and the person doesn't even have a pair of boots, right? So
Right.
let's do this, and then I think I'm going to forego a clip. We need to do a part 2, Sister Beatrice. We're not done, but I want to show them some of the tour that Cleo Harris Jr. took us on. So can we play the third clip instead of the second clip? I promised you all a clip of Pastor Wiley, but we're going to play Cleo Harris Jr. right here so you can see some of what Sister Beatrice is talking about. He took us on the tour, but I joined on the tour.
That was amazing.
Yeah. So, and this is the tail end of the tour.
Yeah, this way after. Yeah, about let's just say
That's Cleo Harris Jr. and Brother Hill Harper and delegation who was on the tour.
I think the LDI.
Can we hear it?
No, IDL. The what does that stand for?
So
The interdispersal loop. So the Vernon the Vernon AME Church ran by or pastored by Robert Turner. When you look at where the excuse me, when you look at the flags right here and go below that little white line, that's the basement. That was the only thing standing. It's the last thing standing. That's why they call her the mother of Greenwood.
Yeah, was that the church where it still has the original brick, and that's where they were hiding?
They were hiding. I've been in that thing. And when you go in there, you still smell smoke. Mm-hmm. For real.
So the brick that's underneath the white is still the original?
That's the original brick. I did a t-shirt for them. You can see where all of that is gone at the top. And there are 3 black men immediately, right after it burned down, they're back up there working.
And they bombed that?
They burnt it, bombed it, you name it.
And originally it was all brick just like that?
It was all brick just like that. All of it burnt to the ground. And if you look behind me, you can see the brown roof over there. That's Mount Zion. That's when everybody first heard that the white mob was coming across the railroad tracks. Mabel Little, that house right there, is named after her. It's not actually Mabel Little. A lot of people don't know that, but that's what they named that house after. She was not a first lady, but an usher or something in the church at Mount Zion. She ran to the church and told them they are burning down the building. She was one.
So that's Monday night, last night at around.
Yeah. So sundown, while they were having their little service or something, she ran in there to tell her husband that they're burning down Tulsa. They're burning down Greenwood. And when people came out, man, I mean, they ducking and running. So you'll see that in that Watchmen kind of movie, but it was worse than that. It was horrible. Now, where did we make a stand to fight back? I want y'all to look, probably have to step back here. Y'all see that tower? That is Oklahoma State University Tower.
That tower we took coming in.
That one. You go around here and go down the street across and see where that tower is. It's called Sandpipe Hill. That's where our brothers who were in military uniform fought these racist white men because it was the highest point. And the only reason why we lost is because we ran out of ammo. They had planes. So what can you do? 75 or more black men military. And so a lot of people don't know about that. They don't know about that hidden gem. I played on that. There were homes up there. Didn't even know.
So it's a hill.
It's literally a hill with a plaque. You can go over there and see it. But as far as the eye can see, they burnt everything. When you look at those pictures and you see that smoke from one end to the other, that's going at least 3 miles back.
That's my neighborhood.
They were just racist white mob. Oh yeah, no, they were World War I then. They fought. They just got out of World War I. And to come back home and treat it, and it's been going on. My grandfather used to tell me, my Uncle Buddy, who lost his hand, used to tell me, he was a Vietnam vet. He was like, this country don't love me. He came back with, when you shoot guns and you just freak out. What is that?
PTSD.
PTSD.
Yes, PTSD, shell shock.
Yeah, shell shock.
Yeah, he was shell shocked back. You couldn't pop fireworks in front of him for nothing. You had to go around the block and some. So when our men came back, man, they were already mentally ready to fight, not only for their country, but for us.
So Red Summer happened in 1919. This is 2 years later. What do you think the connection between Red Summer and Tulsa 21, Greenwood 21 is?
I think it's just culmination, accumulation of hatred building to the point where the white community probably amassed the whole land. We can't stop these Negroes. Wherever they go, we just keep building. They keep building. Well, in the newspaper, they said strategically, we have to make sure that they never build again.
So this was to set an example for all the black communities.
All the black towns, all the black communities across the United States. Because it was a mini metropolis growing. We had 7 millionaires here. 7.
Wow.
And probably more that we didn't even know about. Remember, there's 15 to 20,000 here.
And that's all between 1905 and 1921.
Yes, sir.
That's incredible. 16 years.
That's why they call it Little Africa. And you'll see that on the picture. They didn't just put that there. They put that there for a reason. Because we knew how to build together. We knew how to circulate and trade easily. There were people that had 2 and 3 businesses down here. The building across the street, there was a woman who had a book out before she passed. She had a chili business. She had, they call it room and board. It wasn't a hotel, but room and board. She had 3 businesses. She was
Airbnb before Airbnb.
Right.
So imagine having at least 10 or 15 sisters with those type of business. Some cook. They baked pies. They did they made money. Literally. When you look at 600 plus businesses, you had 16 grocery stores. 16.
Wow.
They didn't have
now in our community is food deserts.
Oh yeah, you go out north, a straight food desert. Now here at Pine and Peoria, they just built an Oasis. Yeah. How come we didn't get a neighborhood Walmart?
Been trying hard.
So I'm thankful that they got that, but it took 60, 70 years just to get a grocery store owned by blacks. If we even own that. So that's a whole nother discussion. 600 business gone in 18 hours. 13 churches gone. And I went to one of those churches and never knew that it was down here on Greenwood. Christ Temple CME Church. I was an altar boy. 1905. It was down here. I later found out, that's why they moved it over there on Apache and Lewis. It's crazy, man. I'm well connected. But we need to talk about those churches. And this is the only true living church that that didn't get destroyed all the way.
Nine
This
still.
church right here. And so, I'm thankful that me and Pastor Robert have a real good relationship. And man, look, our lives we've been threatened. My life has been threatened on so many levels y'all don't even know. Right? I stay ready, trust me, I stay ready. But it's sad that we got to go through that, spit on, water thrown at us, people taking a true story where I was down there, they doing this, white man, racist, Christian man. He said, I give you reparations. What do you want? Get that.
Wow.
Yeah. So every Wednesday.
Part of their team had somebody say to them yesterday
uh,
that, today,
Part of their
that,
team.
this whole thing has been fabricated. It just happened in the last 3 years. It's a made-up story.
Last 3 years?
Actually didn't happen. People made it up
Right.
and started the story for the last 3 years, and
Yeah.
trying to deny that it ever happened.
No, that's, you don't tell a 10-year-old kid that your family got machine gunned down, and many other black families got shot, for just being black. And that's in 1975. So I don't know where that's coming from, right? I've been in that building. I've been in the basement, right? I wish my daughter was here with my car. I'll show you the brick. And it'll give you almost the date of when that brick was made. That's why I keep that brick in there. Just for this false accusation that this happened, it was fabricated. No, it wasn't fabricated. My great-grandmother knew about it. And she would, like I said, she was born in 1897. She never talked about it after I asked her, Grandma, what really happened down here? She dropped her head and didn't want to talk about it.
It's horrible.
Right? It's horrible. So yeah. So how do you fabricate all of those pictures in there? Or bodies.
They even show pictures like what they look
Right.
like.
Yeah. So
Do you think there could ever be reparations for something like this?
I don't think you can put amount of money. I mean, this goes into you go outside the alphabet when it comes to. I'm serious. You can't even. Yeah, it's beyond trillions. Now, Johnson and Johnson said it's going to take $22 trillion to even begin the conversation of reparations. So that's about $200-some thousand a piece for each individual or family. It's beyond that, because reparations. When we were supposed to get that 40 acres and a mule, imagine what that cost back then and what it would cost now. We're talking millions.
The whole country. The whole country.
That white America can't afford that. So just give us our land back, and y'all just get out of here. Get out
And don't take nothing.
and don't take nothing.
What can we collectively buy here, like to support? In other words, let's say we come together, boom, 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 and we say, we're gonna make our mark here on this land. Where would you say, hey, if you brothers bought a building, if you brothers did this, maybe we make an incubation space, maybe we create business, whatever that is. But where could we buy that strip there that you said was there, over there?
I don't know what the city has, already pre-planned for that.
I just wanted you to get a taste of what we received there and the knowledge that Sister Beatrice is speaking about. Sister Beatrice, are you there? Sister Beatrice, can you hear me? Because I want her to close out the show. We're about 6-7 minutes away from closing. But that's Cleo Harris Jr. He took us on a tour of a museum that's held by the Black Wall Street Alliance. And, of course, you can see he and Brother Hill Harper had an exchange like that throughout the entire tour. And others were able to speak too. Sister Beatrice?
I'm here.
Thank you. I want you to
I don't know what I
close
did. I
out.
done made something go somewhere. You can't see me right now because I don't know what I did. But I'm here.
Okay. Okay, I wish we could, but we have about 6 minutes to close out.
I just want to.
Flip your. Felicia says, flip your camera.
I'm trying to flip it. I don't
Okay,
know what to not flip it. I
okay,
don't know what I did.
I got you. Go
Uh,
ahead. Let's continue so you can wrap up the show for us.
so my camera is okay. So
I can't see you, but I can hear you. Go ahead.
okay. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't
You're
have a clue.
good. You're good.
Okay.
Go.
Okay. What I wanted to, I was just saying that the experience was very, it was incredible to experience that. 100 years ago, I wasn't here, but I was coming. Praise be to Allah.
Mm,
Maybe about what 40 something years later,
mm,
actually about 49 years
wow.
uh, after that happened, I was coming. That's not even far, and the fact that we still live in that, I think it's incredible that we still have to. That's why it's important for us to tell our own story.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let nobody tell your story. Tell your own story because people will change it and give it their own narrative. How you
Mm-hmm.
gonna start talking about it never happened? And trust me, it can work where it will be true. The truth, the lie will be the truth if we don't tell our story.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and so I want to say
Mm.
that before we leave, I know Uncle Bobby talked about the conference, so we're looking forward to that, bringing the families together because I did think about the families and while I was there, and so much injustice
Mm.
just across the board for us.
Yeah.
I mean, just injustice all the time, everywhere, you know, and so that, and also I want
Mm-hmm.
to invite all to join Live Free this afternoon. It's the launching of Live Free, which is a program that's coming together to get Black organizations to come together so we can get peace in the streets. I don't know how I was chosen to speak, but I'm grateful that I was chosen to speak at this historic, powerful launch. And
Can I
wouldn't that be
share?
nice if we could come together and get peace in these streets? And so I can try to do the website.
I'm going to
Uh,
share it right now.
okay, thank you. Share it so that we can have it. I'm sorry, I have no idea what I did with this.
You're
Uh,
fine. Keep rolling.
yeah,
You're
so
loud and clear.
the live free is really about peace in the streets and us coming together and finding a way that we can have. We would like to live free, free from police murders and free from community killing, at which we know that there's a hidden hand that's involved in that as well.
Thank you. And it's today, 5 to 6:30 p.m. Thanks for sharing that flyer, Sister B. I posted it. I won't show it to you all, but it's the Live Free California Coalition, the other speakers, and yeah, who else should speak? I'm glad that you're there. You're gonna turn it up. You're gonna light it up. Pastor Michael McBride and Tango Ison Martin, and of course Auntie B. Auntie B, they got you there with the afro and glasses.
And Tim, our brother Tim, who is the director over Live Free California, which
Thank
is this
you.
is in other states too. You can go on their website and see the they're doing in other states. And I wish they go to my hometown, Arizona. I'm pushing for Phoenix, Arizona, and for Arizona to be part of this, to have, live free, peace in the streets. And I hope it happens. So every time I open my mouth with them, I'm like, what about Phoenix?
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure Phoenix will be there so much. Phoenix is a
Yeah,
big battleground, especially for not only what we're dealing with police violence, but immigration rights as well. You know, what's happening with our indigenous brothers and sisters. So, yeah.
ab-
Well, Sister
ab-
Beatrice, give us the website again for the conference from September to October. I was saying in October, but September fading into October or phasing.
okay, well, so we are really to capacity.
Oh,
So it
nothing
happened in
virtual?
like 24 hours, even
Wow.
though we haven't sent out congratulations to everyone. Be patient. If you register, you paid the $20. We're bringing a family member and one guest. So we're going to have 300 family members,
Ooh.
not misunderstood, 300 family members who have been impacted by police terrorism. And so right now, be patient with us, okay? It's not to September, but we working diligently. So we're in the phase of actually congratulating those who have been accepted. We are now finalizing their one guest,
Hmm.
and then we will go to the next section because we was overwhelmed. We thought we was gonna get some. We gonna do it, and oh no, we had to take it down in 24 hours.
Oh wow. Well, I will say congratulations to that, Sister
Well,
Beatrice.
actually, congratulations and sad because that means that there are so many people. We had
That's true.
345 people who registered, but
Wow.
they did everybody didn't pay the registration, so that eliminated some people. But at 345, we had to take it down because more would have come and more would have come because there's so many families that's impacted by police terrorism.
Yeah.
And so this year we're going to do something called the first five, and we will get those families who have been in this struggle only the first 5 years, and we will wrap our arms around them. We will support them and give
Yeah.
them all the tools that they need. We have a lot of first year, some that got killed, just a lot of 1 and 2 years that their loved one just been murdered. Just breaking my heart to talk to these families, and
Yeah.
you know, and y'all can call us anytime as y'all been doing. As you can see, no matter what, we take the calls and communicate with you in the best spirit. So,
Thank
uh,
you. Thank you.
inshallah, we will impact San Diego with impacted families.
Yeah. And
And our
until
theme this year is good vibrations. So if you ain't got
mm,
none, don't come.
keep that real. Sister Beatrice, inshallah, let's do part two next week. People want to know some more about what happened in Tulsa. If your time permits, can you come back?
Sister Charlene, when have I been able to tell you no?
Thank you. I know.
Uh,
Okay,
That's
we gotta go. We gotta go.
that's just right there.
You just
Okay.
keep it up too, because I don't like the word no. So thank you for loving me.
Yeah. I promise I won't hit no more buttons next week.
It's okay. It's okay. Thank you and thank you, Uncle Bobby. Okay.
Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Thank you so much, Love Not Blood campaign. Thank you, Greenwood District. Thank you to the people of Tulsa, the people of Tulsa, for receiving us. And we didn't even get into, we'll come back with that, the Black Wall Street Liquid Lounge and this beautiful group of people we met at a coffee shop there. Thank you, Felicia, the Poetess Morris, and Morris Media Studios. I'm Sister Charlene Muhammad saying if it's impacting our community or can uplift us as a people, let's talk about it. Peace.